What's up, YouTube fam? So this is the first kitchen knife forged from my new power hammer, Anyang 25 kilo. As you can see, it's a Sanmai. The core was supposed to be Damascus, I have 5 Damascus billets that I've been using over the last couple years, and the steels are not super contrasting, so it doesn't actually show up. But the wrought iron cladding is really nice. And what I do with these kind of cladding, I have my steel, and then what I do is I fold like this, the wrought iron, and then this part becomes the tang. So the tang is all iron. You can sort of see here that the steel starts right there. I like to do that because sometimes when the tang warps or something, it's easier to just hammer it straight. You can stamp on it, you can drill through it and stuff like that after the blade has been heat treated. So the handle is elm wood. I don't know if that's the English word for it, and it's been charred. One thing that I've been doing a lot of octagonal handles with this stainless steel ring approach. You can see there also it's a dowel construction. But I have one stainless steel kitchen knife that I made for myself, and I've been really enjoying this type of finger groove here at the back. Something about it is nice. So I'm going to be doing that more. And also, those octagonal handles are really difficult to actually make properly, and they have a high rate of failure because the steel is actually very thin, and the steel rings are not actually completely tapered. You can sort of get the ring to taper when you're carving the wood around where the ring is going to go, if you carve it slightly wide, and when you smack it down, the ring sometimes expands a little bit, and you can get a little bit of taper in there. But because the steel if the steel was a little bit thicker, it wouldn't be a problem. But when the steel it's pretty thick, but it's not thick enough to get like 100% success rate when doing those octagonal handles. The octagonal handles are very professional, they're very nice, but I've been really enjoying that finger choil at the back. The balance is here, so it's perfect for a pinch grip. It's got a nice length. This is a true Gyuto. I'm going to be forging another one this week with a 52-100 steel core. The laminations on this are wrought iron, and yeah, that's really all there is to it. So very beautiful, very pleased with how this came out. The only, if you can see, it's still, wrought iron is a little low here. The rule generally is you want it to be about 1 centimeter up from the edge, but yeah. Often what I do is I etch and I buff, and then I etch and I buff, and I kind of do that over and over again. But in this case, I like that kind of darkened blade with the black handle. I think it comes out really good. So there it is, guys. The first Gyuto forged from the power hammer. Doing these by hand, forging these by hand takes a really long time, and it's a lot of work, and you don't always get like the maximum success rate. And it's difficult to actually forge by hand a kitchen knife that's this long, especially Sanmai with Damascus and all these kind of things. So, yeah. There it is, lads, ladies and gentlemen. A HMK Gyuto. The stamping, the maker's mark, is actually on the tang. It's on the inside. I haven't glued the blade in. I mean, I prefer not to in some ways, because the nice thing about not gluing the handle to the blade, especially in storage, you know, if there's a scratch on it, right, that happens, I can just knock the handle off, redo the hand sanding, the polishing, etch it again or whatever, and then fix it up, put it back into the handle, and it's good to go. Another nice thing also about not gluing the tang into the handle is that as the customer at some point in time might want to do their own hand sand finish. They might want to, you know, go over it with some sandpaper or something, and you know, thin down the cross section or something like that, and they can do that by knocking the handle off and then putting it back on afterwards. So there's a lot of benefits as to why you don't necessarily want to glue the handle in. But in the West, it's pretty much standard practice to glue the handles on. Also, with this particular series, there's a lot of metal, so I could actually get the spine and the maki to line up with the spine of the handle and the belly here, which is nice for pinch grips. You got something to rest your handle on. And so overall, very pleased. I don't think it could have come out any better for the first time on a power hammer. No delaminations, no cold shuts, and most of the raw materials I was starting off with was pretty rusted, so you know, I didn't need to prepare any of the steel really, just smash it all together and it laminated very well. So I think it came out really nicely. And there we have it. I like the thickness of the spine is pretty nice as well. It's not like too thin. I like stiff blades. I don't like it when they're too flexible. And especially when you're cutting with it, it's nice that when you're walking with quite a lot of force, the blade is stiff. So it's got a constant curve. I like constant curves on the edges. So this is kind of like my preferred style of Gyuto. Yeah, and my goal for now, I'm gonna try and make another one this week, see if I can do it. And I don't have a lot of gas left, and the gas is pretty expensive, and forge welding is pretty gas intensive, so, but we'll see. Very nice kitchen knife overall, and yeah, if you want to support my work, you can order scalpels from my website, and I'll see you guys later.